Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to do an updated video guide for Realm of Legends in patch 12.0, talking about some of the best team setups at the moment, some of the optimal mastery setups, and which masteries you definitely don't want to use when clearing the Realm of Legends, because there are a few of them that I've seen players use and then not be able to beat a certain encounter, and we'll talk about those kind of when we get to them. And then finally we're going to talk about the Realm of Legends itself and kind of what to do on every fight and how to handle every opponent, which specials to bait, kind of how to play in a certain encounter. So yeah, we have all of the information you should need to complete Realm of Legends in the patch. I know a lot of people have done this already, and it may seem trivial to a lot of people, but again, new players are joining the game every day. A lot of the Realm of Legends stuff now is greatly outdated, so I wanted to bring out kind of a new updated resource and a kind of a 12.0 perspective on this piece of content and tell you how to tackle it effectively, because I still see people getting up to Wolverine with absolutely no way to deal with him on Facebook, on Twitter, like almost every day, and it breaks my heart when I see somebody that's done like 7 bosses, gets to Wolverine, and then has no way of possibly killing him, and then has to be told like, oh buddy, you're not going to be able to get down Wolverine, you need to go back and build your team properly and do it again. So that breaks my heart, and ideally, this video will help avoid at least a few of those scenarios. So anyway, let's talk about the team setup for Realm of Legends. So the kind of standard, and in my opinion, the best way to deal with Realm of Legends is by having basically your team is comprised of a damage dealer, so one character that you focus on playing throughout like every encounter and is like the best and craziest damage dealer you have. Then you have a guillotine to deal with the Wolverine. There are a few other options as you get into 4-star, like potentially like Archangel and Dr. Voodoo, but you need those fully maxed out as a 4-star to combat Realm of Legends Wolverine. Also Sturgill does work, but guillotine is by far, if you're playing the right way, if you're playing aggressively, it's such an easy way to deal with Wolverine. Every time that I've fought Wolverine with a guillotine, it's been a one-shot, and it doesn't really matter about the rank or star of your guillotine. It's essentially all about your ability to play aggressively, because it's all about reversing his heal on the level 2, and that's built into your soul charges system, and you get more souls by kind of reversing the healing against him. Rank and star of the guillotine really doesn't matter. It's all about your ability to play aggressively on that fight, and also having a mastery check to make sure you're not gimping yourself on the amount of regeneration so you can proc, and we'll talk about that in a second. So you got your damage dealer, you got guillotine, and then you'll have a crit team synergy as well. But anyway, let's talk about the damage dealer and some viable options. So recently, a few days ago on the channel, we did a Realm of Legends run with Spider-Gwen, and that was to kind of illustrate a point that any character can be the damage dealer providing you play well. But obviously, there are some really, really good options, and options that are much better than others. So the kind of 2 ideal characters for dealing with like 10 of the 11 bosses in Realm of Legends are going to be either Star-Lord or Scarlet Witch. They are superior options by such a huge margin, such great characters. Star-Lord gets a huge amount of increased attack per combo hit, and Scarlet Witch is just still a beast with a crit team, so she's very, very good for that. However, there are some really good alternative options that I'd like to recommend. Again, I have a really, really long list of them, which I'll just quickly drag onto the screen now. But some alternative options, which are really decent options. You got Dr. Voodoo, you have Storm, X-23, Wolverine, Drax, Hyperion, Hulk, Rocket Raccoon, Symbiote Spider-Man, Black Panther, Old Man Logan, Moon Knight, Gwenpool, Archangel, Black Bolt, Nightcrawler, providing he's awakened, and then Rogue. So there are just so many decent different options, and all those characters bring slightly different stuff to the table, but none of them are all around as good as Star-Lord or Scarlet Witch, but they do have stuff going for them. X-23 is quite a popular one at the moment because she's really good for a lot of the fights where you can bleed. Really insane damage there. But yeah, just any of these characters will work, providing that you can evade and parry well, and that you're a fairly decent player for the most part. But again, if you want to do it super hard mode, like fully maxing out or getting a Spider-Gwen to 440, hey, we did it that way, so it might be possible as well. But ideally, you want your damage dealer at kind of rank 4 level 40. That's a pretty good level to go in. And if you haven't already done the first run through of Act 4, that is significantly easier than doing the Realm of Legends. So I tackle that first, and that should give you the resources to get 2 rank 440 characters, and make sure you use them wisely on a pretty decent champion. So you got your damage dealer. That is entirely up to you, whoever you choose, but ideally, you know, Scarlet Witch or Star-Lord for by far the easiest time. You've got your guillotine and the 3 other characters characters, ideally, you just want like a maximum kind of crit and damage team synergy. So one of the best ones for Guillotine especially is a Magic, a Juggernaut, and then either a Colossus or Hulk. However, what is it? Wolverine, Storm, and Magneto are also an alternative option to that. And you can also maybe like pile into, well, I think that those are probably the best stats that you can get with free characters, but it really depends on, you know, who your damage dealer is. Play about with various team synergies, but those are just a couple of ideas to give you a good ground on who might be good to use in Realm of Legends. So anyway, let's talk about the Mastery setup. So I've kind of rolled back my Masteries to what I believe is a pretty good core foundation to go off. Again, I've got a lot of disposable points here, but this is up to you on which character you're focusing on which build. So offense, you just want to make sure you have kind of like the base masteries like precision and cruelty, and also glass cannon. I really like glass cannon, gives you a lot more damage, so that's going to make your life a lot easier. If you're a bleed champion, you definitely want to go into deep wounds. If you've got enough units already, you might want to go into assassins as well. But yeah, that's kind of the core foundation in the offensive tree. Build it however you want if you have spare points, but I just kind of made the setup knowing that a lot of people doing this may not be max level yet. Probably around level 49 is when I first attempted Realm of Legends, but yeah, you might be like level 45, you might be level 40, you might be 50, I'm not too sure, so I just did a bit of a scaled back version, because, you know, doing a full level 60, 100% Act 4-1 was a little bit too over-ambitious there. So in the defense tree, we have basically everything leading up to willpower. Now, willpower isn't essential, right? Totally isn't essential. You can scale back willpower, you can scale back physical resistance and energy resistance if you want. However, when you get to Scarlet Witch, because she's going to be doing so many debuffs on you, willpower is a very, very good mastery to have, because it's going to completely counter, for the most part, a lot of the debuff damage that you get. Ideally, if you have a poison immune champion or a champion that already heals, like Scarlet Witch, it's a good way to deal with it. But if you are using a champion that doesn't have poison immunity or can't heal, then willpower's a pretty solid pickup for Scarlet Witch. But if you haven't already unlocked it, well, it's probably not worth it. You're probably better off just kind of taking the hit on Scarlet Witch, saving up a few more health potions, and using it there. Then finally we go into the utility tree. Now this is where I start to talk about why people like build their mastery setups wrong for Realm of Legends. So the core things you need, obviously, at 3 out of 3 parry, so valuable. You need to be able to parry and evade. Just one of the biggest things for tackling endgame content. But if you're not already familiar with those, then check out Dork Lessons on YouTube and his guides to parrying and evading, because that's how you string together these multiple 100-hit combos, by kind of knowing how to handle the AI there. Now, this is Pacify is actually a really, really bad mastery, especially if you're doing a kill on Wolverine with Guillotine, because when your champions inflict stun, they also reduce enemy ability triggers by 10% for the duration of the stun. And when you're fighting Wolverine with a Guillotine, you do not want at all to like not trigger any regeneration. It's all about trying to trigger as much regeneration as possible so that you can reverse as much health as possible. And I think this is like one of the two things that really gimps a lot of people on Wolverine. So having points in Pacify, make sure you take those out for Wolverine, and also in Petrify, that's going to reduce health gain, so might reduce the healing that you're trying to reverse as well. So again, these 2 points in particular really work against your favor when fighting Wolverine. And also to bear in mind, you don't want to have like 3 out of 3 in despair, because if you have multiple stacks of bleed, that might again gimp a lot of the healing that you're trying to reverse on Wolverine. So that's just a bit of an interesting observation. Whenever I can't, you know, whenever somebody comes to me and they're like, I can't figure out why I can't kill Wolverine with Guillotine, I usually look at their mastery setup. I'm like, send me your mastery setup, and they always have points in that, and I'm like, look, just take the points out of that, watch this video of 2-star Guillotine fighting Wolverine, get really aggressive, and then like an hour later they come back, they're like, I've done it, it's easy. So just make sure you build your mastery setup right, and keep that in mind when it comes to Realm of Legends Wolverine. Now let's dive into the actual Realm of Legends itself and talk about kind of every boss and kind of the tactic there for dealing with their abilities and stuff, and what you have to look forward to. So Winter Soldier, I think Winter Soldier, since the update, is one of the slightly trickier fights. So Winter Soldier, you don't want to get into the special 2, because you cannot fully evade that, and cannot realistically fully evade it. I think it's possible if you're like a crazy evader, but it's much easier to just continually bait the special one. We got a lot of videos on the channel of us doing almost perfect kills on Winter Soldier, so if you want to see how the timing for that is done, you can look that up on the channel. But yeah, Winter Soldier, again, just never pushing past the special one and constantly evade that, and he's going to be a fairly easy fight. But Winter Soldier is all about practicing, you know, never feel... You shouldn't go any further than Winter Soldier until you can confidently and consistently get a full kill on Winter Soldier. It's all about that practice. Just if you're kind of new to getting like really high combos, just continually set yourself the challenge of surpassing your highest combo before. So say if the highest combo you've ever done is 100, just set the challenge of like the day to go maybe to 120, 130, and just keep on practicing. That's what I did when I initially started Realm of Legends. It is a very slow learning curve. It does take a while to get practicing, but once you get that, you'll have like some insane tries where you can just constantly like string on like 300, and it will eventually come to you. So it's practice makes perfect when it comes to these long fights, because all of them, depending on which characters you use, can be anywhere between about like 200, 300 hits to about, you know, 600 to 800 hits. Again, entirely depends on the matchup and character. But yeah, you got to keep that in mind. So next up we have Captain Marvel. Ideally just bait the special 1 on her. That's much easier to deal with than the special 2. So that's my piece of advice there. Juggernaut, very tricky. Probably one of the most annoying encounters your first time getting through Realm of Legends. Be prepared to die a lot, and also practice a bit on Juggernauts before you start the Realm of Legends. So Juggernaut, again, you have to deal with Unstoppable whenever he has a special 1 or 2. Ideally, try to push him to the special 2 as much as possible, because you're going to minimize the amount of Unstoppables throughout the fight. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Juggernaut's a pain in the ass, but providing you can parry well and just kind of wait out the Unstoppable, he shouldn't be too bad. But Hulk, you know, if you have a Hulk, you can put Hulk in your synergy team as well. Again, in place of Colossus, if you're using the Magic Juggernaut one, and he's pretty damn good for that fight. Like, Hulk, overall, he's a pretty good champion. You can fully clear Realm of Legends with him quite easily, and he'll come in very useful for a fight like Juggernaut, because he's a stun on a special 1, so it might be an option there, but if not, you're just going to have to play a little bit patiently. So next up, you have Rhino. Rhino doesn't have the Unstoppable charge, so he's fairly easy to deal with. Don't worry about his specials, just they're both very easy to bait and evade by swiping back at the right time. The special 2 maybe is a little bit easier, because you got to get the timing on the special 1 down, but again, Rhino is a very easy opponent to fight. The only thing you need to worry about is what is it, is you don't really need to worry about it. I guess it's like a thing you need to be aware of, is that he takes significantly less damage as his health goes down. So yeah, he's a bit of a long fight, but he ain't too bad. He's pretty easy for the most part. Then you have Storm. Baiting Storm special 1 is quite easy, because you just gotta swipe back and outrange it, but the special 2 isn't too hard to evade if you got the timing on that right. So yeah, Storm's a pretty easy opponent. Then you have Vision. Vision is probably the easiest encounter in Realm of Legends. Very face roll to do. You can just completely block his special attacks if you want, because they're all based on energy damage on power burn. So yeah, if you block a special attack, it's going to do absolutely nothing, but at the same time, they're very easy to evade, and if you evade, you can get like a nice combo in after that. So yeah, Vision, easy opponent to deal with. The only thing you need to be aware of is if you're bringing a champion that relies on bleed a lot for damage, like maybe a Wolverine, this might be quite a long fight. Like, it's not going to be difficult, but it will be a very long fight. So that's something interesting to bear in mind. And then you have Black Panther. Just bait the special 1, special 2, swipe back. You got the Scarlet Witch, so she's going to do loads of random debuffs while attacking you. She does heal, block, poison, minus attack, minus crit damage. Just a load of stuff is going to be chucked on you. So if you have willpower, that's a really good way to negate some of the damage. Her special 1 and 2, they're both a little bit tricky to evade. The special 1, you kind of have to wait till the orb floats to you and then dash back at the right time. And with the special 2, you just have to evade, like, soon as she, like, starts firing it off, just swipe back and you should get the timing on that. But it's good to have a practice against a few Scarlet Witches before you go into the Realm Legends. Same with any character. Wolverine, again, you just got to play very aggressively on this fight. You just got to be constantly, like, up his ass. If you put points in Mystic Dispersion as well, which is a mastery in the utility tree, we forgot to cover that earlier, but that will give you your guillotine additional power every time a regen expires off him, so it could give you, like, boost up your power quite a bit, allow you to get off more level 2s, might make the fight a little bit easier, but it's still quite easy to do without Mystic Dispersion in my opinion. But yeah, just got to play really, really aggressive. Guillotine is all about that level 2. You've got to get to it as quickly as possible and just keep on, like, getting to the level 2s as you can and just go ham. And hopefully he's going to be dead, like, in a couple, 2 or 3 level 2s, but don't be too disheartened if you don't get him down in a few tries, because again, it does also rely on, like, the regenerations are lining up, so that's one of the other things as well. Like, sometimes you have to get a little bit lucky, and there will be tries where you just don't get the regeneration you need. I've seen videos of it, but personally, whenever I've done Wolverine, like, I've always got pretty lucky, man. We've always gotten down on the first try, but I'm pretty good at playing aggressive, ain't too bad. Black Bolt is a bit of a joke fight. You just basically, for this fight, you want to get into the special 2 as often as possible, and you want to double swipe back for that, because when he uses the special 2, it just instantly destroys 5% of his maximum health, and when, you know, these bosses have about 500,000, that is a lot of health. That's about 28,000, I believe, or 25,000. So yeah, a lot of damage he's going to self-inflict just by getting to the special 2. So that's an additional damage tip there. But if you want to play it safe, you can just bait the special 1. I know a few people have trouble with the special 2. And then finally, you have Hulk, who actually got a little bit of a buff in the most recent patch. Hulk is going to hit very, very hard when he is at low health, so you're not going to be able to take that many blocked hits. And yeah, that's one of the very annoying things about Hulk, is now he's at a bit more of a threat. The level 1 is a little bit more difficult to deal with because it's a bit annoying to evade. So I'd suggest, whenever you can, try to bait his level 2. You know, just go absolutely crazy on Hulk. But, you know, have a little bit of practice before you fight the Realm of Legends Hulk against some weaker Hulks, so you get used to the timings. That's pretty much it for, like, every boss. Just make sure, you know, you look up all these characters and go through the monthly event quests and have a little bit of practice against all of them, get used to their animations and stuff. Because the last thing you want, if you can't fight, like, a Hulk in, like, a monthly event quest, to go up against the Realm of Legends one, which has, like, 500,000 health, you're going to have a very, very bad time and waste a lot of units. But anyway, just about kind of units and revives to store up. Make sure you kind of have, like, a full stash of units and revives. In terms of boosts, if it's your first time going through the Realm of Legends, make sure you make use of, like, the 20% boosts. Those are going to be very, very helpful, but don't use them on any practice attempts, only when you're going for the full push. Should you activate boosts, there are also, like, additional attack boosts and health boosts, and, you know, if you're a fairly new player, if this is what you're looking to accomplish in the short term, it makes sense to use them. It definitely makes sense to use them on that content, but also just make sure that, you know, just remember that that kind of stuff is available to you, and that you can possibly make it even easier by using those boost resources there. So, ladies and gentlemen, apart from that, that is it for Realm of Legends. Like, it ain't too bad now. It ain't too bad. If you want to see kind of a full run from the perspective of a really, really gimped character with a Guillotine Wolverine kill, in the description of this video will be a link to the Spider-Gwen kill, so if you want to see that full run of Realm of Legends, it took just under 2 hours of a Spider-Gwen, and she's fully maxed out, but she isn't the best damage dealer. So yeah, you can see that run and analyze it, and hopefully learn a little bit from it about every encounter and how to deal with them. So if you enjoyed this video, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to leave a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. Apart from that, take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.